Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to rise to speak on Bill C-375, introduced by the Honourable Member for Richmond Hill, an act to amend the Criminal Code. More specifically, Bill C-375 seeks to amend Section 721 of the Criminal Code. Section 721 deals with pre-sentence reports. And what Bill C-375 would do is amend Section 721 to require that probation officers always, consistently in every pre-sentence report on any mental health disorder of an offender, as well as report on programs and services related to mental health available to the offender. Let me say at the outset, Mr. Speaker, that there is no question that mental health is a serious issue in Canada's criminal justice system. We know that the percentage of individuals in prison who have mental health issues or addiction issues is very large. Indeed, according to the latest report from the Correctional Investigator of Canada, more than half of the female prison population has some mental health issue, and 26% of the male prison population has a mental health issue. So when we're talking about the criminal justice system, when we're talking about prisons and issues around mental health, we are talking about a very significant percentage of the prison population. And there's no doubt, and a lot of attention has been placed around issues around mental health in prisons as a result of some recent highly publicized incidents involving prisoners with mental health issues and how they were treated. And there's no question that there is plenty of work to do to ensure that the health and safety of prisoners with mental health issues who are behind bars are protected. And to that end, Parliament has a responsibility and a duty to act to ensure that those issues are addressed and to deal with shortcomings in terms of the federal prison system when dealing with persons with mental health issues. Now, with that said, Mr. Speaker, Bill C-375 specifically deals with pre-sentence reports. And I guess by way of background, each and every year in Canada there are thousands of pre-sentence reports that are prepared. Pre-sentence reports are not mandatory. They are prepared at the request of a judge who may need the report or look forward to the report to obtain additional information and background about the offender in order to craft an appropriate sentence for the offender. Now, Mr. Speaker, Section 721 of the Criminal Code provides that certain information must always be included in pre-sentence reports. Additionally, Section 721 sub 2 of the Criminal Code provides that provinces may, by regulation, require additional information be included in pre-sentence reports in their respective provinces. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, judges have the discretion to request that certain issues or certain matters are addressed in a pre-sentence report where the judge deems it appropriate, having regard for the unique circumstances of each individual offender. So the reality, Mr. Speaker, taken together is that when we're talking about issues around mental health that may concern an offender, when we're talking about issues around programs and services related to mental health in respect of offenders, the fact is that today that information, those issues can be addressed, can be investigated, and can be put forward in a pre-sentence report. And indeed, it is not uncommon, depending again upon the specific circumstances of each individual case and each individual offender, for judges to make that request and for judges to take those matters into consideration. And so, while I appreciate that Bill C-375 is a well-intentioned bill, and while I know that the honourable member for Richmond Hill has been a strong and passionate advocate around issues concerning mental health and vulnerable persons in Canadian society, I believe that Bill C-375 is unnecessary. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, I believe that in addition to being unnecessary, Bill C-375 has the potential to create confusion and result in unfairness and inconsistencies in the administration of justice. To that end, Mr. Speaker, there is a considerable variance in terms of the behaviours and conditions that fall under the umbrella of mental illness. The fact is that not all mental illnesses and mental disorders are the same. Even within some disorders, the degree of impact can vary considerably. And in addition to that, Mr. Speaker, there is a real potential that the effect of Bill C-375 could cause delay and further backlog in our criminal justice system, which is already backlogged. Further, Mr. Speaker, Bill C-375 will significantly increase the amount of work that a probation officer undertakes in preparing a pre-sentence report. That additional work may be necessary in many cases. But again, that is already done in those cases, because by the time that a verdict is rendered and a judge gets to the sentencing part of a specific case, issues around mental health, where it concerns the offender, are almost certainly have been brought forward to the attention of the trial judge. And so, rather than taking a one-size-fits-all approach that can create inconsistencies, that can lead to confusion, that can result in backlog, that can slow down the administration of justice, Mr. Speaker, I would submit that the best approach is to do what is taking place, and that is to leave it to the discretion of trial judges. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.